Well, Skip, I believe he'll be better because this team is really set up. I mean, sometimes you struggle, and then you catch the right team at the right time. And I believe the Carolina Panthers is the right team at the right time because what Brady struggles with, Skip, is pressure. And what the Carolina Panthers defense don't do very well is pressure the quarterback. They have 10 total sacks. 4 by one guy, Burns, who was the first-round pick, if I'm not mistaken, out of Florida State. They only have 23 quarterback hits. So Brady should be able to stay upright, be able to survey the field without somebody sticking a helmet up under his chin. That's where he struggled. That's where he got into the problems last week, Skip. You look at the games in which he's lost. He's only lost 3, 6-3, which is a very good record at the a little over the halfway point. New Orleans, first game, pressure. Chicago in Soldier Field, pressure. Last Sunday night at his home, pressure. And that's not what the Carolina Panthers do very well, Skip. I got some stats for you. You love stats. This is what Brady is against the pressure. His completion percentage is 33% against pressure. That's 32nd in the NFL. Now, it's only 32 quarterbacks. Put that here. Yards per attempt versus pressure, 3.1, 30th in the NFL. His QBR versus pressure is 5. It's Joe Flacco. I think somebody else. Who? Joe DiMaggio was number 5. Or was that Gary? One of them guys was maybe Mantle. Anyway, Skip, that's not very good. And considering Carolina don't pressure very well, he should be able, like I said, survey. AB, you want it? Oh, Mike Evans, you need it. Chris Godwin, you need it. Hey, Gronk, I'm going to get you involved. Struggled a little bit last week. So, Skip, I don't see the Carolina. And plus, McCaffrey just came back, balled out against Kansas City. And he hurt his shoulder. Now, they said he might, but he's looking doubtful, looking like he's not going to play. They're different offense when he's on the field because he can run it, he can catch it. So they find a myriad of ways to get him the football. And with them being shorthanded like that, without McCaffrey, I believe Tom Brady, even though Mac does not play defense, I believe this defense is set up for Tom Brady to have a big day. So I don't see him struggling like he did last week.
So you are picking the visiting team.
Yes, I am.
The Buccaneers.
Yes.
Do you have a score?
I'm going to say 27-17.
17. Oh, so you have a cover.
Yeah.
Because it's a 6-point game.
I'm going to say 27.
Bucks by 6.
Yeah.
Really?
And they won't make the mistake they made last week and just run the ball 5 times.
So I have several issues with everything you just said. Point number 1, you, as usual, neglected the most important stat that just it overcomes all the stats you just spat out on the table.
What?
Who was, going into Sunday night, the most or best protected quarterback in all the NFL? Who had the least pressure on him of any quarterback in the whole league coming into Sunday night? Guess who?
Brady.
Tom Brady.
Yes.
So just junk all those stats because they don't matter. Because against pressure, he had so little pressure on him. Yeah, you're right. He's the same at 43 that he was at 33, that he was at 23. Same in every way. His arm is just the same, and his one weakness is just the same. He is not mobile. So if at age 23, you got heat on him with 4 men, especially with 4, as the Saints did twice now, opener in that Sunday night game, 38-3, you're going to be able to beat him. He's going to be incredibly vulnerable because he's going to spit out all those stats back at you. He's not going to be very good. But it's hard if you protect him even semi-well, it's hard to get that kind of heat on him because the Saints on Sunday night pressured him 56% of the snaps. Well, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? You got a chance to win. But not only did they win, they just demolished.
Yes, but Skip, my point is a lot of quarterbacks struggle with pressure, but not to this degree, not with this severity. And if you look at the 3 games they've lost, all have been because of pressure. New Orleans, Chicago, New Orleans again. You're absolutely right. If they leave him upright, well, you're going to have a problem on your hands. And because Carolina don't pressure, Skip, they got 10 sacks.
Okay, and what have I also told you? Not only has he been the best protected quarterback, but they have been throwing the longest passes of any team in the league. It's no risk it, no biscuit offense. Tom Brady is running Bruce Arians' offense to a T, just like Jameis did a year ago when he led the whole league by far in turnovers. As I told you yesterday, in pure air distance, how far does the ball travel from your hand to the receiver, whether he catches it or not?
Right.
Tom Brady leads the league by far in air distance. So if you put those two together, he's been protected, but again, he's not dinking and dunking like he did at at New England, right? Where he led the league in yards passing to the running backs, right?
Yes.
Okay. Well, now he's second to last in passes to running back yards.
Well, they're going to have, but Skip, if you remember now, Skip, the way they drafted running backs is that they drafted running backs that were receivers. He went to a team that's not how they drafted running backs. So it's going to probably take him another year to get running backs that used to catching the ball out of the backfield. And the problem that they had Sunday, Skip, if you don't run the football, where's your play action? So now all of a sudden that intermediate stuff, the overroutes that Scotty Miller and Gronk used to catch is not there.
Okay. So what amuses me about you is you just absolutely annihilate Tom Brady when he loses. And on Monday, I have never seen you gloat any harder than you gloated. Yes, you were. You were just rubbing it in all day long. That's fine because he was horrible, arguably the worst game of his career. But how can he bounce back with a new team and a new system and a coach who publicly ridicules him after losses? He ridiculed him.
He just said we need to play better.
It was sarcastic. it was pointed. It's like, don't look at me. What happened to the GOAT? You know?
But hold on. But that's the same argument you use. You tell him that he's going along for a great ride.
He should be, but he's not.
When they win, you say, oh, this is all Tom. When they lose, it's the defense. It's Bruce Arians. It's Byron Leftwich. Okay. Hold on.
Yeah, you question whether Brady's even the GOAT. You have said for 4 straight years on this show that he should just call it a day and go home. Yeah. And yet you've got them bouncing back and winning by double digits at Carolina against a team that I have far more respect for than you happen to.
Skip, if they could rush the passer, you'd have me. But, Skip, they don't.
Well, I'm not going to bet against my man, but I am tempted to.
But hold on.
I'm tempted to take Carolina in 10.
You just told me that your guy, Brady, is better than my homeboy. Now, we just saw what Mahomes...
He's having a better year, says Pro Football Focus. I'm just going on what they say.
Yeah.
They rate him higher for his whole body of work for the year than Patrick Mahomes. And by the way, speaking of Teddy Bridgewater, who's going to face Tom Brady yet again this Sunday at Carolina.
Played well.
Has he played well? He outplayed Patrick Mahomes at Mahomeboy. He did. Well, timeout. Timeout. He had a QBR. You love QBR. You've been throwing it at me all week. He had a QBR, did Teddy Bridgewater, of 89 to Patrick Mahomes, 83 at Kansas City. And Kansas City was in trouble in that game late in the third quarter into the fourth. In trouble, and they pulled it out 33-31 because Teddy Bridgewater was dealing.
Yep.
You don't think he's capable?
Yes, absolutely he's capable.
Okay.
Let me ask you something, Skip. Throw stats aside. What did your eyes tell you? Through the first 9 games of the season, who's played better? Forget stats. Forget the 9 Super Bowl appearances. Forget the 3 Super Bowl, the 4 MVPs.
Tom Brady. I watch every snap of every game.
Hold on. You're saying Tom Brady has played
He's had a better year than Patrick Mahomes, who's been, as Pro Football Focus points out, wildly inconsistent. Up and then way down, like shockingly down. He's had 4 bad games by his standards. You're pushing him for MVP, and I'm saying, well, timeout. What about that game and that game and that game? He lost to Derek Carr at home.
Skip, he scored 32 and 2 for 340.
Okay, but he lost.
Okay, your guy scored 3 points against New Orleans.
Okay,
your guy lost to Chicago.
Okay,
Chicago has lost the last 5 games.
My guy destroyed Aaron Rodgers. My guy just completely outplayed Derek Carr at Las Vegas with a masterpiece of a game.
So you look at the games in which he's played extremely well. I'm looking at the complete body of work, his complete body of work.
All right, now back to objectivity here.
Objectivity.
I am ride or die with Brady, so I'm going to stick with him to just survive barely at Carolina. I'm going to call it 27-24, Brady and the Bucks.
Okay.
But I am here to say, with open heart, I'm just going to bare my soul, I will not at all be shocked if they lose this game. I think they are up against it, against a division rival, and I am not sure that they can climb out of the deep, dark hole that they just dug for themselves against the Saints.
What game?
It was the game. It was as stunning a loss. No, okay, well, I told you. What did I tell you Monday? It was as shocking and stunning a loss as any I've seen since Peyton and company ran into the Legion of Boom in the Super Bowl. What was the score, 43-8?
Yeah, Skip, so you're not saying that they lost. It's the fashion in which they lost.
It was appalling. It was season-threatening. It was deeply troubling. It was as bad a sign as you can get this late in the year. We're about the midway point in the season.
Skip, it was one game.
Okay, but it was a complete and utter wipeout. And what troubled me the most was, as you point out, the offensive line that had protected Tom Brady the best suddenly looked like the worst. They could not block 4 New Orleans Saints the whole game. They were getting destroyed from the first play of the game when Cam Jordan made his lone contribution, got right in Brady's face and whacked him across the face, but that's okay. They didn't call it. But that set the tone for what was about to transpire. And all hell transpired on Tom Brady. And it got so bad that I saw Tom Brady get as frustrated on the field. I'm not talking about on the sideline, on the field as I have ever seen him get, because it got so bad that they were down 31-0, and it's 4th and 7 from the Saints 42, and he rolls out to the right, not known for his running, as we see here. And he just said, hell with it. I'm just throwing it up for grabs.
Yeah, he did a lot of that.
Have you ever seen him throw a worse pass than that in his life?
I've never seen him even throw one of those passes.
Okay, you haven't. Okay, it came to that. And it's deep frustration at a whole new team, a whole new system, and a whole new group that can't really find yet the Patriot way that he's trying to instill and install in Tampa on the fly.
Well, Skip, you know what would have helped that? Run the football.
Okay, which they better do this time. But here's my other number 2 problem that happened. A Bucs defense that many were making the case was the best defense in football at 6-2 going into that game suddenly turned into what looked like the worst defense. I'm not exaggerating. It looked like the worst defense. It looked worse than my Cowboys have looked earlier this year on defense. Am I right?
Well, yes, Skip, but a lot of times, too, this is what happens. When it starts to go bad and you can't get it corrected early, it overflows. And what we saw is that they couldn't get it corrected, and it looks worse. I don't believe their defense is that bad. Yeah. I don't think their defense was as good as what it showed against Green Bay either.
Okay, all right. So what did Tom Brady say in his media session this week? The line that jumped out at me, there are actually 2, but the first one that jumped out was, the great advantage in the National Football League is continuity. We just haven't played enough games together. Obviously, they have not.
Right.
It's possible that even the GOAT bit off more than he can chew, using a barnyard analogy, if you will.
Right.
And it's possible that the whole notion of trying to throw Antonio Brown into a 6-2 mix on the fly at midseason was insane. Like, it's a season-threatening move that Tom, deep in his heart, knows if we could just pull this off in the next couple of games and get it in sync and in rhythm and in context, that by the end of the year, we're going to be miles ahead. We're going to be virtually unstoppable on offense if I can get everybody to find a place, including me, in this new flow.
Right.
It's almost too much of a good thing, right? So he also pointed out that we have to improve our urgency. Well, to me, that is suggesting that the head coach, not that he's taking a direct shot at Bruce Arians, but Bruce Arians is loosey-goosey, laid back. Hey, we practiced great this week. We're going to go kick their butts, right? It doesn't work that way. Sometimes, as you well know, you can practice great and you're a little full of yourselves. You're 6-2. People are making the case you're the best team in pro football. We got this. This is revenge over the Saints. We'll just kind of show up and get our revenge. It doesn't work that way. The Saints flew under the radar all week, and they came in and destroyed them and might have destroyed part of their psyche. And they don't have any continuity because what would have happened in New England if this had happened? It's on to Cincinnati.
Right.
It's heads down, go back to work, go back to doing exactly what you've always done because it will work.
No, and the thing is, Skip, is that Tom's going to have to do this also. Tom wouldn't even talked about what transpired the previous week. He'd have been we're on to Carolina. Coach Belichick definitely. After Sunday, you would have got no more mention about what transpired in New Orleans. It would have been all about Carolina.
Totally agree.
So Tom is going to have to do a better job of too, and also like, look, we're not worried about New Orleans. New Orleans is done. That's 2 games. We lost both of them. We're on to Carolina. But let me tell you, Skip, now the last 2 games, Ronald Jones has carried the ball 10 times.
I got it.
You guys have struggled in both of those games. You won the Giants, but Skip, you struggled. And you struggled again.
Okay, they're trying to blend a more talented player, Leonard Fournette, into the mix and into the flow. he doesn't run as hard as Rojo runs because Rojo's got that I'm number 2 mentality.
Right.
I'm going to show you.
Right.
You're not going to take my job.
Right.
But if you take his carries away, he can't help you.
He can't be successful. He's a guy that needs carry, just like Leonard Fournette. And maybe sometimes, Skip, you can have too much of a good thing. Leonard Fournette's out there. Oh, man, Leonard Fournette was like the 5th pick in the draft. Oh, he's available for little or nothing? Let's go grab him up.
Got it. Same idea as AB. Okay?
Exactly.
I got it.
Sometimes you can have too much of a good thing.
And sometimes you're taking 2 players with huge egos, AB and Fournette.
Right.
Fournette's got a big ego and caused some problems in Jacksonville,
Correct.
right? They were burned out on him.
Yes.
And you try to fit both of them into your offense. Okay,
Correct.
So do I think he needs to change the Sunday night blueprint on this Sunday? I do not. He's not getting enough credit for what he tried to do. Think about that. Look at the numbers from Sunday night. He threw 6 balls to Mike Evans and 6 balls to Chris Godwin. That'll work. And 6 balls to Gronk. Right. That'll work. And 6 balls to Fournette out of the backfield. Not bad. And he threw 5 to AB. I couldn't draw up a better blueprint. I couldn't give you a better formula for success than that kind of ball spreading, right?
Right.
Unfortunately, they weren't catching enough of them because either they weren't open or he couldn't get the ball correctly to them because he didn't have time.
Skip, to Tom's credit, yes, he tries to spread the ball around because that's what he does. Mike Evans is not used to having the ball spread around. He's used to getting his number targets.
He's going to have to give into this. He's going to have to sacrifice if he wants to win that ring. The problem is they got so shell-shocked by this that I think their chances of winning this division just got destroyed on Sunday night. What does that mean? That they're looking uphill at being a road wildcard team, right? That's the best-case scenario that I see unless New Orleans just goes and falls all apart.
Correct.
Which I guess it could happen in this crazy 2020 that we're in, but I doubt it.
Right.
So, to me, they have to figure out how to run the ball first.
Yes.
So maybe it'll be a more conservative approach. But let's get to Teddy Bridgewater, shall we? What has he always played with? A huge chip on his shoulder. I didn't love him coming out of Louisville.
Right.
I thought he was pretty good, but I wouldn't have taken him in the first round. And Minnesota said, no, we like him. And in his second year, they went 11-5, and he made the Pro Bowl.
Yes.
And remember, it was the Blair Witch Project missed kick, right? That cost them a very cold home playoff game against Seattle. Remember that?
That's correct, yes.
So Teddy has done really good things to the point that he took over for Drew Brees last year. And in the first game, they go up to Russell Wilson.
Right.
And I'm not saying he outplayed Russell, but they won the game.
They went 5-0.
Okay, they went 5-0, and my team was their second victim, and Dak was flying high. He'd had QBRs of 95 against New York and Washington, and then I think it was 88 against Miami. And here he came, and they go into New Orleans, remember, Sunday night, and Teddy Bridgewater beat him 12-10. He's got a knack for pulling these kind of games off. As you say, he wins out the rest of that year, 5-0. And then here he comes this year, and every time he runs up against a really good quarterback, I just told you, he outplayed Mahomes. He played very well against Drew Brees. At Drew Brees, they barely lost the game. But he's played in big spots very well. He always sort of surprises me. Well, help me out here. What quarterback in this league could better understand what Drew Brees did to the Bucs defense? Who could better understand it than Teddy Bridgewater? He ran the system last year.
It's the same offense.
It's the same offense. So he will pick apart the film saying, aha, Drew saw this and did that, right? Well, he will have a great blueprint in his head for what will work against the Buccaneers defense.
But the question is, Skip, can they protect him like Drew got protected? Because if they can't, he's in trouble. Shaq Barrett, they're going to make a conscious effort because they feel they didn't heat up Drew Brees enough. So I would be surprised if Todd Bowles don't come after Teddy Bridgewater.
Okay. So, to me, the key word from Brady was urgency. Can you come out and play as a team for your life on Sunday? Because I think that's what it's going to take.
Yeah.
I thought they came out flat from the opening snap on offense and defense. I did not think they looked ready to play. And you've seen these teams where you can't even explain it, but as a group, they're just not psychologically ready on hair trigger to play an opponent that was really ready
Right.
to embarrass them at home?
Skip, you really never know because, as you said earlier, I've been in situations where we had a great week of practice and we went and laid an egg.
Yep.
And then we had a week of practice where we were just milling around and it
Yep.
seemed like everything wasn't going
I
well.
got it.
And then we play well. And then you get to the game and you're like, okay, you think everything's going to go well. And then all of a sudden, for whatever reason, there's no right. Coaches wish they knew because there are a lot of times coaches in their head like, man, we sure don't have it today. And the team plays extremely well.
Yep.
But your team, the Bucks, Skip, stop worried about getting AB the ball. AB will fit in. Like LeBron told Kevin, don't worry about fitting out. Just don't worry about fitting in. Just fit out. Do you.
Yeah, I got it.
We're gonna find a way. We're gonna find a way. But Skip, I'm telling you, at some point in time,
Yep.
you can have too much of a good thing, and this will start to wear on those other guys that were there from the beginning. To see Tom constantly try to get AB the ball.
Yep.
Because they like, hell, we can make plays too.
Yep. So guess what? I look at these three receivers for Teddy Bridgewater, and Robbie Anderson has 60 catches. Remember, Mike Evans leads the Bucs with 34 catches. Hold on. Curtis Samuel has 38 catches. That's 4 more than the best receiver for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Right. And DJ Moore, who I love coming out of the draft, he's got 35, which is 1 more than the best receiver.
So they got 3 guys.
They got 3 guys who have caught the ball more than the best guy has for Tampa Bay.
Anderson's like top 3 in receiving yards.
Hey, those 3 guys can get open.
And I love
they can all fly.
Skipper, you know, they'll line Samuel up in the backfield and hand him the ball. They'll toss it to him. He's like a better version of Deebo Samuel. You know, Skip, they hand the ball to Deebo, they pitch it to him. They'll do the same thing. I'm watching him. They line the dude up in the eye. I'm like, and you got to be really tough as a wide receiver to let you dot the I, to want to dot the I.
Okay, so that's how Teddy Bridgewater scored 31 at my homeboy.
Yeah.
And nearly pulled it off.
But I think Tampa's defense is much better than Kansas City.
Well, I hope so. They look better on paper. You have to come out and play better.
Well, they didn't play better Sunday night.
They did not.
I'm gonna say Sunday night is an aberration. I'm going to say that Teddy Bridgewater doesn't go 5 for 5 as far as touchdowns and possessions to touchdown. So I think Todd Bowles, the defensive coordinator, I think he's going to heat Teddy Bridgewater up.
I hope so. I hope for once you are right with 27-17. I stand by barely surviving 27-24, and I will take any kind of W because the next game is a Monday night game for the Buccaneers against the Rams, and the next game after that is my homeboy visits Tampa Bay.
I tell you what, you better get your protection shored up because Aaron Donald.
I got it. You're right.
Thank you for watching. You can subscribe here to get the latest from the show and be sure to check out more of the best clips from Undisputed or go watch a few other segments from our other shows on FS1.